So that was good. Good morale for the team. They're going to play Mike Clevenger and the Padres tonight. We'll get out of here a couple minutes early. 6:10 is the first pitch there. Somebody wrote me about, synchronicities and coincidences and things. And he said, I'd never referred to my father as Padre before, but I was calling my dad. And I said, hey, Padre. And just as you were talking about the Guardians playing the Padres on the radio. Now, is that coincidence? Is that what they call a synchronicity?
It's part of God's plan.
Part of God's plan. Sting sang about it. Listen, Guardians.
Sort of Drake. God's plan.
No, he's talking about the one by Sting. It's God's plan. You don't have to put on the red light.
God's plan. I will share you with another Lord.
Better not. That's one of his big.
That's a big one.
That's a big no-no with old
big no
jealous God up there. Real jealous guy. That God.
The Padres are a good team so far this season, so we'll see how it all shakes out. They're 15-8. Guardians are still on the wrong side of 500. So Padres, Guardians tonight here in Cleveland, Ohio, at the Progressive Field.
Weather permitting.
Yes.
Weather permitting. 6:10 start. Is it? Oh, it's supposed to rain this afternoon, right?
Yeah.
It's supposed to rain for like the next 2 days.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
got some thunderstorms, and it could be a tough one to get in.
Well, anyway, Jose Ramirez has made it very, very clear that he wants his entire career to be with the Cleveland Guardians.
Jose.
He said, I got to a point where I had to decide between the option of being traded or signing an extension. I'm aware my market value is greater than what they offered me, but I decided to stay. I want to finish my career in Cleveland. It's a guy, I guess, who understands the value of, first of all, there's only so much money you can have or make. And a part of the equation for him, clearly, was the fact that the fans like him, that he apparently likes everybody who's over there. Tito's been here a long time now. And
it's a peace of mind thing. I mean, he's going to have enough money for generational wealth either way. You go, oh, I like it here. Why mess with it? I get that. I would stay in Cleveland for $150 million.
Is that what they're paying him?
Yeah, something like that.
I wonder how many of these players from other countries send money home to their parents as opposed to bringing their parents here or family members. Because depending on where you're from, you don't want your family to be the family with a whole bunch of money. It might be smarter to bring them here.
Yeah,
but then you have to contend with, he's from the Dominican Republic. I don't know at what part. A quick blurb I saw was that he was born and raised in the Nickelodeon resort in Punta Cana. So, boy, that had to be fun for him.
So much slime.
I was telling my daughter on the way to school this morning, because she's been in a big SpongeBob phase, has been for a while, that the very first episode of SpongeBob SquarePants aired 32 years ago.
Nope.
Sunday. Sorry, 22, I think that's how math works.
Yeah.
22 years ago this past Sunday, May 1st, 1999.
Okay.
Or is that 23 years?
It's 22.
23 years
23?
ago. Yeah.
Just hit 23, yeah.
Yeah.
I was doing a show last night at the Imposters Comedy Theater. They do like sketch and improv and stuff like that, and some stand-up. And I was doing some stand-up, but there was a sketch, and it was a guy, basically, he wanted to start a band, but it was like doing all SpongeBob covers, and it was killing with this group because everybody there grew up watching SpongeBob, and I was like, oh, I was grown up when SpongeBob came out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just like, they're like, that's crazy, man. Mm-hmm. That's amazing.
Yeah,
They just
SpongeBob
couldn't
was...
understand how old I was.
Well, I feel like SpongeBob was between me and Cody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would come
Yeah.
home from school and it would be on.
I was 10, so a little bit younger. But
I
yeah,
just remember when
sister-
my older kids were young and had their SpongeBob phase, and I was like, there's so much screaming in this show. Why is there so much screaming? Now all my daughter wants to watch is The Simpsons.
That's right.
Which is fine with me.
Nickelodeon.
Less screaming, huh? Less screaming in The Simpsons.
Less screaming. More
Depends on the season.
Right.
Yeah.
SpongeBob.
More ass words.
Yeah.
SpongeBob is the Mickey Mouse of Nickelodeon. They don't.
Dude, Mickey Mouse isn't even the Mickey Mouse at Disney anymore.
Well, I'm just
Tell me
saying-
one kid that gives
too
one
woke.
crap about Mickey Mouse.
But for a long time, it was. It was the
Yeah.
staple there. You associated Mickey Mouse with Disney. That was like their spokesperson. That was their mascot. Like that was the fantasy that was Disney. And now I feel like it's Nickelodeon didn't have that for a long time. They were just very kid-centric, kid friendly or
Face.
whatever.
Face was
And
there.
that was
That was
Nick
Nick
Jr.
Jr., though.
That was Nick
No,
Jr.
they had Face on Nickelodeon, didn't they?
No.
There was Face
just
and
Nick-
Face Jr.
But it
Face
was
was
all for Nick
Face's
Jr.
dad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think even before SpongeBob, there was Rugrats.
Yeah.
There was Doug.
But
there
it
was
wasn't a
Ren and
signature
Stimpy.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was
Right, a
like,
signature
the same.
guy.
Yeah, the Nicktoons as a whole were like recognizable, but it wasn't nearly to the level of SpongeBob.
SpongeBob is its own thing.
Yeah.
Like it's SpongeBob transcends
And then everything
Nickelodeon.
else, yeah. I agree.
Because they make SpongeBob hood cartoons. I still have never seen a hood. Well, actually, that's a lie.
But that
I've
was
seen a
what
Mickey Mouse hood.
That's what I found so strange at the Nickelodeon Resort is that it is the gift shop and everything else. All the gift shops, I should say. You can't go from one place to another without walking through a gift shop. But it's all very, very SpongeBob centric.
Yep.
But they also give a nod to weird cartoons like Fairly Odd Parents. You know.
It's not a weird cartoon.
Well,
That was
okay.
huge.
How about Invader Zim?
I don't know
Yeah,
what
That's
that
got a
is.
very-
Exactly.
I love Invader Zim.
But it was on for like a season, I think.
But it had a huge cult following,
It
and then they
was.
brought it back for like a Netflix movie or something. But Invader Zim, although not a widely successful show, still has people that
Somebody bought it.
are
I think
super into it.
Cartoon Network, I think, bought it. One of the other cartoon networks bought it. Because I remember I watched it not too long ago. On like a streaming platform that was bought.
Well, all the suites there have like the artwork in the suites is original artwork from Nickelodeon.
Oh,
so
that's
our
cool.
room had like the original hand drawings of Invader Zim
I'll be afraid to
with
touch
like
it.
artist notes on it and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I'm explaining to my daughter what that was because our room isn't decked out with our particular room wasn't decked out with like SpongeBob art. It was
Yeah.
Invader Zim art. And I'm trying to explain to her what the show was. We watched a little bit of it. It was not for me back in the day.
I've
But
I
never
loved
seen
Invader.
it.
My mom used to watch Ren and Stimpy, Pinky and the Brain. My mom would watch with us because she loved Pinky and the Brain for whatever reason.
So my 21-year-old nephew, who was living in my apartment for a month,
how's that going, by the way? You guys own place?
no, he was. So April was supposed to be the 1 month he lived with his grandparents, and he's still there. He said he's applying for jobs. He hasn't nailed anything down yet.
Your poor grandmother.
Yeah, he's like, they said that they'll help me pay for college if I want to go back. And I was like, go back. You never went in the first place. I was like, why wouldn't you have gone? Oh, because I don't know what I want to do with my life. He's still in the
Oh, he
exact same
didn't
position.
go.
No,
Why do you say go back?
I don't know.
Oh.
You're going to take their retirement. He's going to take them to the cleaners.
Dude. So I was actually just texting with him the other day, but I've explained how my family did babysitting. I was 11 when he was born. So when I was about 14, I was watching him. My sister and her husband at the time would go out, so I'd be 14 watching a 3-year-old, and all he wanted to watch was Fairly Odd Parents. That's it. And so we would watch it on repeat. They had it like the full series on DVDs.
They did a live action version like now recently where it's like the two cartoons but then like live kids.
Yeah.
Oh, I've
It's
never seen that.
really clunky.
But I was always like, oh, this is for babies. This is what my 3-year-old nephew likes. And then I would be watching it. I'm like, this show rocks. Like, even after he
This
went
show-
to bed, I
the
would
Crimson
watch.
Chin.
Oh my God, I loved that show.
But that wasn't
Rocco's
funny. Like
Modern
that was a
Life.
weird show. Rocco's Modern Life
It was dark. That's a dark show.
That's
for
a dark
kids.
show,
It
and
was
like
so funny.
He's like depressed about his
he's
job.
a sex operator. Like
something.
he's
not a
He's
sex
a phone
operator.
Yeah,
operator.
there's theories out there that
Works
he
at
was
a call center or
he's-
something.
He's up to something.
Rocco's Modern Life. I will never forget it when the dude was berating the steer. He was like, "Listen here, you fat." He was like, "I'm a steer. I'm not a cow." Like I just remember. Oh my God! Now that I'm old enough to realize the wittiness of these cartoons, it makes me appreciate it a
it
lot
more.
Oh, so funny.
I mean, I bet you've never seen a steer berated since.
No, I haven't.
Alan's sitting in my car at my mom's nursing home drinking a beer because you have to deal. And I think I saw Poundcake's mom's pterodactyl. What she saw might have been bigger, but this bird definitely had the dragon-shaped tail. I've never seen a bird that big before. It's got to be what she saw.
How many beers have you had, sir?
Right.
I really want to nail down what your mom did see.
What part
'cause
of the
I'm
country
curious.
was she in? What part of the country was she in?
She's here in Ohio.
Oh, because have I told you guys about California condors yet?
Yes.
Have I told you about contented Linda Grace?
That's all I know about condors.
From Wakarusa, Indiana.
She said it was Cascade Park in Elyria, Ohio. She said I don't know. She said she was in the car, so I don't know if they were leaving the park I don't know back then if there was a drive-through area of the
Probably
park.
just a kite, right?
No.
It could be a kite, could have been a bird, it could have been something with trash on it, because, Illyria.
Huh. Let me give you some money here. It's $1,000. Chance for you to go fund yourself. First of 4 chances here on the show. So listen closely and good luck.
The Buzzard wants you to go fund yourself and score $1,000. Enter the nationwide keyword GRAND at WMMS.com. That's GRAND. Enter it now at WMMS.com. And good luck from Buzzard Radio.
Alan, my freshman year of college, I had a roommate who decorated her side of the room with floor-to-ceiling SpongeBob. Curtains, bedding, rugs, pillows. I had to switch rooms. I was too embarrassed to bring guys back.
Well, it's not her side of the room.
I know, but
It doesn't matter.
that's a boner killer, boy, when you're looking over and there's SpongeBob, everything
though?
looking at you.
At 18, when I feel like you're just so horned up, it doesn't matter.
No,
Yeah.
it matters.
There's still a couple things that are going to get in the way. Yeah, I mean, you are horned up. But I remember a couple of instances in college where I was like, I'm out.
Gotta go.
This ain't for me.
Yeah.
What was it? What were the instances?
It's actually a story about him. It was the SpongeBob thing.
Yeah, right.
That's why he
yeah.
associates it with so much screaming.
Well, I remember
Yeah.
the one time you said that you smelled a girl through her pants and you said no. Another girl, you said.
Yeah, well, that's one. I mean, that's
Yep.
an extreme case. I'm talking about just like a little pet peeve. There was a girl who collected dolphins, not the animal, the mammal. Everything decorative-wise in her apartment was dolphins. Everything had to be dolphins. So there's dolphin curtains, and there's dolphin
Figurines.
and I'm more curious about how somebody arrives at that as a grown person, because now she would go on to get a couple of DUIs, so maybe that's something to do with it. But
Okay, so she turned out okay.
had to leave Pennsylvania. But yeah, but I always wonder, like, when does it begin as kind of a quirk, and then go to a full-blown psychosis
Hobby?
for
Obsession,
collecting?
yeah.
Obsession. It goes beyond hobby to me,
It's
right?
like my mom and her frogs.
You go, or Black Santa, or whatever your mom likes. Isn't she like a bunch of Santas too?
Oh, yep. So, yep, frogs are all year round. Santas are around Christmas time in the whole house. Like, they're like goddamn gnomes. Like, you have to go, can't go anywhere.
You know, we've all had the experience as kids where there was that brief period of time where there was something we liked, and everyone in our family got us that all the time.
Yes,
Like
even after you grew out of
you
it.
told your grandmother you like dinosaurs, and until you're in college, she's getting you dinosaurs and crap.
Right.
You're like, Grandma, But so people who are obsessively collecting one weird thing, it's got to be. It starts as, well, I have 7 of these. I can either throw them all away.
Or it can be a thing.
This is my thing now. And it's like an
Well-
affectation. Like that becomes part of your personality, and that's weird.
When my boyfriend and I were in Arizona, we went to an antique shop, and it was huge. We spent like 3.5 hours in this antique shop. We had nothing to do, and it was like,
PTSD.
dude, it was like 109 degrees that day. So we're like, let's just go hang out indoors. But we had that conversation because we're walking around and we're seeing all these little trinkets, and we're like, he looks at me, he goes, should we be like a cow couple or like squirrels or something? Like, because there's so many figurines.
A cow couple.
Yeah, and I was like, I mean, if we see more than 3 of something we like, we'll start it. So we're like walking around. There was a couple cute cows.
So
few
at best,
cute elephants.
fate is sort of a selective thing, is what you're
See,
saying.
what you should have done is you should have got ahead of the whole cat problem. Be like, if we see 3 piles of cat puke, we'll get them.
Oh, what it is. I took her to the vet today.
She got cancer?
She does not have cancer that I know of. They drew blood from her neck, by the way. That only because, like, I didn't think about the fact that they don't have veins like humans do. Like, you can't just put your arm out there. So they had to draw it from her jugular.
Yeah, that's the big vein, and had to
Blood.
drain her.
So they've got like one lady holding her neck up, and the other guy. It was
That should calm her down.
traumatizing. I know. They couldn't get any pee out of her, so they had to. They were
The
just
one
like,
time she can't pee.
Right? She peed in her crate on the way over.
Yep.
But they were like, we can't get a sample of her, so we're going to give her the antibiotics anyway. It does sound like she has a UTI. But they said they can do a urinalysis from the blood work. So
Can't just give her cranberry juice?
Tell you
I
what.
don't think so. They gave her a shot of
When my
anti.
dog had a UTI, they gave us these little cranberry tablets.
Well, they gave
they're
her
dog ones.
Yeah, they gave her antibiotics, and so that's a shot that lasts 2 weeks. And they took blood, and they wanted to do X-rays, but I'm like, I'm not dropping $1,000 on this
was gonna
visit
say,
right
vet
now.
visits are so
It was $500.
Honey.
Oh my God. So she's on antibiotics.
for
They
love.
gave me painkillers because they're like, if she does have the UTI, she's probably in pain. So I have to try to feed this dumb cat pills twice a day. And then I asked about like the puking, and they said if she's been doing that her whole life, it's behavioral. They're like, it's probably not going to change at this point. But before putting her on like Prozac or Xanax, they gave me like this pheromone treatment. It's like a diffuser, like a essential oils diffuser, but it's got cat pheromones in it. Humans can't smell it, but it's supposed to calm cats down a lot. So I had to plug that in to the house so that the house is going to be filled with cat pheromones.
No, this is worse
Brian's
than
gonna
the
always
pee.
be like, I can smell it.
This is going to be worse.
I texted him. I was like, humans can't smell it, so I don't want to hear anything from you.
He's like, but I can.
It smells like maple syrup. They said
Well, that wouldn't be a bad smell,
Well, they
though.
said, because I was like, can people smell this? They said no. But if for whatever reason you do, they have had people say it smells sweet. It smells like a maple syrup smell. But they're like, this is a cat pheromone, not for humans. So that's where we're at. I have to go back in 2 weeks. Check out what they say with the blood work, give her more antibiotics, and then we'll go from there. But they said she looks healthy otherwise. Weight, teeth, heart, all that. Everything else checked out fine. But
Have you thought about the number?
what number? Of how much it's going to cost?
The number.
The number
Whether
is,
they admit it or not, everyone has a number in their head with respect to their pet.
I feel like her number, okay, is she like terminally ill? Because they did the blood work to see if there's anything going on with like blood cell counts. Because
Just
like,
a
if
number.
it's not a UTI.
Just a number. You just dropped $500.
Yeah.
Just a number.
I would say probably.
I always think of my downstairs neighbor when I first moved to Pittsburgh, who was a single woman and had 2 greyhounds. And those dogs, whether they've been racing dogs or not, are very prone to things like hip dysplasia and things like that, right? She spent $15,000
No
on her
way.
dog's hips.
I couldn't spend $15,000 on that cat. I don't have 50. I've never had $15,000. Probably $5,000. If she costs me more than, that's so much money. to
I always
even
think of the
about,
I always
like,
think of the people who spend a ton of money on their pets, and then the pet dies from something else, or gets
Gets
eaten
hit by
by
a
a coyote,
car,
or hit by
yeah.
a car. I mean, listen, there's you flip a coin with everything, but
Yeah, they wanted to do x-rays. They're like, that'll see if she has bladder stones or kidney stones or if there's something else going on other than a UTI. But the x-rays were like $350. And I was like, is it necessary? I'll do it if we have to do it. And they're
well,
like,
as none of us have X-ray vision, this is
I meant-
absolutely necessary.
no, they were like, what we can do is we can give her the antibiotics today. And if her symptoms don't clear up in 2 weeks, then you should really do it when you come back in 2 weeks. So we have to go back in 2 weeks anyway. So we're going to see how the next 2 weeks go. And I'm out of town next weekend, so hopefully the pheromones will help with the puking.
I remember a friend of mine who used to have to milk his dog's glands.
Oh,
He
those
used to have to
anal
get up
glands,
there,
you have
yep.
to express them.
Yep.
Super gross.
He'd have to get up in there. He'd have to put ointment on her hole and the whole thing. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, you love that dog. The consensus seems to be the Poundcake's mom saw a blue heron because they fly with their legs behind them, and so the legs would look like that tail that your mom probably saw.
How big are they?
Pretty
They're
big.
pretty big.
Pretty big.
Blue herons are tall.
They
yeah.
have like that's what I said last week, and they have a wingspan of over 6 feet. Like they're big.
Something coming through on the Alan Cox Show After Hours line earlier.
Hey, Mary. With your cat's freaking out because it's in a strange place and you're not there. There's a lot of stuff going on there. But what you might want to look up is the cat enzyme spray. It's a thing that will get rid of that smell instantly. It's available at any pet place that you might like. Hate the show, Gene from Parma.
Gene from Parma.
Gene from Parma talking about cat enzymes.
I bought
Gene with
that.
a serious call. Usually he's cracking us up, and this
Yeah.
time he's
He's
like,
just
"Hey,
being
I'm just trying to help
helpful.
you out. Appreciate it."
Ooh, so scared, chubby wubby.
Well, okay, so you talk about the number or whatever. Between all the sprays I bought, the carpet cleaner, this vet visit, all the money I made from this weekend in stand-up is gone. Like, I cashed my check and I was like, oh, that's it. I spent all of the money is gone from that. And I'm like, freaking kidding.
Spent all my money on sprays for my kitty.
Not even. Although we did make up yesterday, me and my boyfriend. So that was
Yes! The kitty got sprayed after all.
We're walking around Target after that. We went and had dinner. And we're walking around Target going to get a fire stick. And he's like bopping around and in a great mood. And he looks at me. And
Yeah, he got laid.
well, he looks at me and he goes, sex is awesome. And I was like, sex is awesome, Brian. You're right.
Sex is great, but have you guys watched season 4 of Better Call Saul?
But yeah, so the cat cost me $500. She's on antibiotics, and hopefully the pheromone diffuser will help the puking problem. Mm-hmm. We'll see.
All right. Well, thank you, Gene from Parma. Always appreciate your input. I'm going to take a break. If you want to text for anything, 35192. If you're listening on the iHeartRadio app, that talkback button is right there for you if you will, along with quick messages. And we'll be